Okay, what we're seeing here is my new polyvinyl fence. This is the west side of my backyard. As you can see, it's been done professionally. It looks real good. These are virtually maintenance free. These fences replace the old wooden fences that you see right there. And that fence was dying and decaying and turning black and looking rotten. So I decided to swap it out for the brand new polyvinyl. These fences look beautiful. They beautify your home, they beautify your neighborhood, and they beautify your community. So I decided I wanted a polyvinyl fence, and I'm glad I did that. On the east end, this is the west end. On the east end of my property, I'm going to put that up. But you've got to remove the posts. As you can see over there, there's fence posts that need to be brought out of the ground. And I've developed a method of using a hydraulic jack to pull those out of the ground. And I'm going to show you how I do that and show you my method. It's effective and it works and it's clean. So we'll move over there and I'll show you the tools that I use, and I'll get right back to you. I'm going to put you on pause. Okay, and what you're seeing here is all the tools that I use to pull these fence posts out. I do have a Gorilla cart over here. It's very helpful when you're doing lawn care work, or if you're working out in the lawn. And it does have a nice feature. It's got a dump feature that I'll show you. This dump feature has a handle, yellow handle here, and you just pull it back, empty it out, and it's just like a dump truck. And it locks in place when it goes back in. Now what I do is I take the topsoil, about 2.5 feet of topsoil on top of the posts, because there's concrete underneath these posts. And if you don't remove that topsoil, you're going to snap that post right in half, because these are pine timbers, and pine timbers are not very dense and they will break like a twig if you don't remove the topsoil. So before we begin, I do want to show you the rest of the tools that I've got down here, and then I'm going to remove the topsoil and show you how that's done. So let's move up a little closer. We've got a spade, we've got a rake, a pair of leather gloves, we've got a drill with a 5/8" wood bit, sledgehammer, the Gorilla cart, of course. And we've also got the socket wrench down there, and that's a 3/4 inch socket, and that is used to remove this nut off this bolt. And this bolt is going to go, this bolt's going to go into the post once we drill a hole, and then we just this is going to be the push piece. We're going to fit it through the post and through this together, and we're going to use this on the jack, and it's going to push the post up out of the ground. The chain, we use the chain in case the wood post breaks in half, which has happened to me. That has happened a few times. It's happened twice to me where I had to use a chain to pull the post out of the ground because it broke like a twig. And in the beginning I was not removing the topsoil, the 2.5 foot of topsoil off the top. And this old pine, because it's less dense than oak, it will break like a twig. It'll break in half. So the wood that I've got, these wood timbers over here, down here, those are oak. These oak timbers will not give. They're very dense and they will not break. They may chip a little bit, but they will not break. Now this hydraulic jack that I got here, this is a jack that I paid, I believe it was about $79.99, and I bought it from Harbor Freight. And it's just a simple hydraulic jack. You just pump it up with this handle, and this is going to pump the posts up out of the ground. As you can see here, I've already removed all these posts going back to the front of the house where the gate used to be. There used to be a wood gate right there, and two of these posts I couldn't get out because they broke. They broke in half. Just pulling out the posts with the topsoil still on it. And so I learned quickly that you have to remove the topsoil and then it'll come out, concrete and all. Some of these posts didn't have concrete, and I've realized that the posts in and around the front gate here in this area all had concrete surrounding the posts underground. And as you get farther away, where there's less human activity, they didn't bother putting in concrete in some of these posts. So I've run into 3 posts so far that didn't have concrete. And this post over here, right there, I'm betting that there's no concrete under the ground on that post either, because the 3 posts prior to that didn't have any. Now these cinder blocks here, I use that for a foundation for my platform. I'm going to build a platform here for you and show you how that works. We need a platform for the hydraulic jack so we can pull that post out of the ground, pull all these posts out of the ground. And eventually I'm going to put polyvinyl fence on this east side also. That's my aim right here. Okay, so these are all my tools. Now that chain does have some links on there that you can use to wrap around the concrete. These are adjustable links. I've got 2 of them here, one for up here and then one for down when you're going to wrap around the concrete. But these links, these adjustable links, you just unscrew this nut and set it to your size, and then you get what's basically what you get is you get a customized size of chain that you're going to wrap around your concrete, for instance. You got to close it back up. Okay, and this portion here would wrap around your concrete pole that's in the ground, or it will wrap around your hydraulic jack right up here, and then you can pull it up out of the ground. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you on pause, and I'm going to one more thing before we go and do that. The gorilla cart, again, when we pull the earth out of the ground, we're going to put the earth, the topsoil, in that gorilla cart, because once we're done, we're going to refill those holes, and we're just going to dump the dirt right back in the hole that it came out of, that the post came out of. And the gorilla cart's so handy and so convenient for that. It doesn't make a mess on your lawn. It doesn't spread out the soil all over your lawn, but it contains it right into that gorilla cart. I bought that from Lowe's hardware store for like 150 bucks, and it's been very valuable around the yard. So I'm going to get busy, and we are going to set up the platform, and I will show you how that's done. We'll set this platform up, and I guess I'll let you watch me do that. First we're gonna dig out the first dig out the topsoil around the post. You've got to have a perimeter before I put the cinder blocks in place, and I'll show you how that's done. Okay, got my loppers here, and I'll cut that tree root out of there because it's going to get in the way when I put a new post in, and I don't want it to be there. And that's what you're going to get right there. It's out of the way. Okay, now we've dug down about 2 foot perimeter all around the post, and that's all you need really, especially if there's no concrete. If there's concrete down in there, then we're going to have to go down another foot, but I don't think there's concrete under this one. We'll pull it out and see. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put you back in the tripod here, and I'm going to set up the platform that we're going to use to remove this post. Okay, so we're going to put a cinder block on each side of the post for the oak timber. Move that out of the way. That goes right there. Right there, it gets close. Okay, now I do have, this is an oak timber, a block. I got 2 holes drilled into it. I usually use the lower hole, this hole right here. Don't really need the second one. Sometimes I do if I need to raise a post even higher. Then I just rotate it around. Actually, it's going to rotate this way, and then it gives me more lifting capability at a higher level. I'll show you that here in a minute, and we'll demonstrate it. But what we're going to do is we're going to drill a hole through this post. We're going to fit this on top of the hydraulic jack rest here, once I got it all the way down. And this bolt's going to go through both of these timbers to hold it in place so we can pull it out. But we have to drill a hole, so I'll get the drill and we'll do it. This has got to be centered. Okay, there's a pilot hole for that. Okay, now I got 2 pilot holes. One of them I'm going to finish all the way through. Now this one I won't finish unless we need to. Hopefully we won't have to do that though. Okay. Stick this back in place. This is our push timber. And then we'll put the boat in place. This nut goes on there nice and tight. This wood's pretty loose inside. Dry rot. You don't want this thing flopping around while you're using a hydraulic jack on it, so that's good enough right there. Okay, so next step is to pump this up and pull it out of the ground. And I'll show you how that's done. I'm going to give you a different angle though, so that you can see the post coming up out of the ground. That'd be good enough right there. Okay, so we'll start pumping. She's coming up slowly. Should be able to see that come up. I did splinter a bit. We're going to rotate this block around. See, this nice thing about this, it rotates around. Once you get it up a little bit away, you can start rotating it around and start pumping it up some more. I'm going to put this under the back so that it leans forward, because as it gets jacked up, it leans back. This arm, hydraulic arm, leans back. This one may have some concrete on it. Unless that's dirt. It's more like concrete. I have to clean it up, clean it off there. This post is now out of the ground, and looks like it's got dirt caked on it. And you use the spade to clean that off and push it back into the hole. Oh, there is some concrete down there. Down below here they got concrete. So that's why I got a splinter. I should have went down deeper. I didn't think there was going to be any concrete on this because the last three of them didn't have any. But this one did. So you got to be prepared for that. Those are things that'll happen to you if you're not prepared. I'm going to remove the jack. platform, so it's out of the way. And we will push this dirt. It came caked off of the concrete. Push it back in. Yeah, see there, this one does have concrete on it, down at the very bottom. And it didn't put as much. The ones over by the gate in the front of the house had probably a third more. It came up to here. They had much more concrete. But this one does have concrete, but not all of them do. Okay, this is going to go to the graveyard, the post graveyard. And I'm going to get that removed and we'll be right back with you. I'm going to put you on pause. Okay, I've positioned the gorilla cart over the hoe. We're going to use the dump feature to dump that dirt right back into the hoe in which it came. And then we'll grade it out. That's how that works. And it's clean. All cleaned up out of here. Now we're going to grade this out. Those big clods I usually chop up into smaller, more manageable dirt clods. Now we need the rake. We'll use the rake to grade it out. Now usually this will leave an impression, because what we're going to do now is compact the soil. Because when you're going to re-drill holes for the new fence, you're going to want compacted dirt so that the post holds in, the new post for the polyvinyl fence will hold in there. So I'm going to use a 2x4, no, it's a 4x3 timber, oak timber, and we'll use that to compact the earth. Just pound it down. It will leave an impression, but that's okay, because I can import dirt later at a later time from somewhere else to fill that impression, and then plant grass over that. Okay, and there we have it. Now that that's done, looks pretty good, I think, for a one-man job. This is a do-it-yourself, one-man job operation. And I'll take you over there to the old post graveyard where I've been putting the posts. This here is the old fencing that I brought up, pulled out. and it's going to go to the dump, the main dump, eventually. Here's the post graveyard. These are all the posts I've taken out so far. As you can see, those don't have concrete on them, but those do. Those are concentrated around the front gate where you have a high incidence of human activity. They want that gate to be steady and stiff and not break down, I guess. And they don't care about the fencing in between, because 4 of those posts, I ran into 4 of them that didn't have any concrete. As you can see here, this post here and that post down there, it's got a stub. As you can see, it just broke in half like a twig. Down here, it broke down closer to the concrete, and I had to use a chain to pull this out. But I had to dig down to about 3.5 feet so I get a chain wrapped around that concrete, and then I yanked it up using the hydraulic jack, and it worked. So that was all splintered. I cut the top of it off. It was splintered. It will come out splintered like that one is. You can't see it, but it'll splinter like that. As you can see, it's all splintered, and that's how you know that that pine is not very dense, and it will snap like a twig. Eventually all this is going to go to the city dump, and same with this old fencing once I got all the posts out of the ground. And I think that's going to conclude my video. I showed you how to remove one post. There's no use in showing you another one, because that was a good one because it had concrete around it. And like I said, these fences are beautiful. They beautify the neighborhood, they beautify your home, they beautify your community. And they don't look rotten like this old fencing. As you can see, that old fencing, that row right there is going to be taken out next year. This is summer of 2021 in July. That's why we've got 87, 88 degrees here in Springfield, Illinois. And I've done all the way up to that fence up there on the neighbor's fence, which went across to my house, which is right here. And hopefully you won't have to resort to having to use this chain, because it means more labor, more work, more headaches. But if you do it right and you remove that topsoil, these posts will come right out using the hydraulic jack. Now I do have a high jack lift, similar to a car jack, with the old style car jack lift. They're real tall, and it didn't work out for me. It's not good for a one-man operation as this is. This is best for a one-man operation, the hydraulic jack, because it's sitting on the concrete, and it's very stable. It doesn't move on you. It moves very little, if at all, while you're jacking up that. And if you do run into tree roots, you will have to bring in a set of pruners like this. And the pruners are really good at tackling those nasty roots that are in the ground. There's not even a tree nearby here, but for some reason there was a root in there. Okay, so I hope you like this video. I hope it's beneficial. And like down below on YouTube.